On you go. We should be visible and audible. Hang on. You are not audible yet. I need to jiggery pokery something. You will be in just a second.
We've got some weird sounds going on. Where are they coming from?
No, that's better. Now
you're coming from. It's because Muhammad's right on the streets of Cairo. This is always the way. This is the way.
This is the way.
Cairo is a busy, noisy place. That's my bet. I've never been, but I'm pretty confident.
You have to go for your launch of your next supplement.
It is pretty busy.
It is. Okay. Yeah.
I haven't been as often as Mohammed, but I have been.
Oh, I can hear the noise now. Okay.
All right. So, good gentles, one and all, we find ourselves once again in Harlem. Your group of intrepid investigators still mostly hanging together, having suffered a few losses through a number of interactions with dark and shadowy forces. Currently investigating what's going on with Wendell Young and why hasn't he given the record to Casper Holstein that he promised. Casper, the owner of, or sorry, not the owner, the operator of the sort of numbers game that everyone gambles on across Harlem, but also noted social investor in a number of causes, approached what was his name? Captain Wrightson. That's right. Yep, Captain Samuel Wrightson, the leader of the Knights of the Oribus, who you have joined after defeating, I guess, proto-Nazis and KKK members in the last adventure. You quickly, taking on board his advice, went over and saw Pop, the operator of the best barbershop in Harlem, who told you a somewhat lengthy story about the Baron in Blue, who comes to the crossroads and will give you everything you dream of. It'll just almost inevitably cost you more than you thought. Pop specifically flagged that the thing he disliked the most was someone who came along to take away stories or the ability to tell them. So with that kind of information on board and noting that Pop had told a story to Wendell Young about going to the crossroads and making a deal with the Baron in Blue, also noting in that process that it's important to listen to the whole story and pay attention to it, not just the bits you want to hear, which you all kind of came away with the very clear assumption that he was suggesting Wendell hadn't paid attention to the total story. Went to Wendell's flop house where
Just before you go on, he cut our hair, didn't he?
He did cut
all of our hair at the same time.
Somehow he cut all of your hair at the same time, and for just a moment, and I'm pretty sure it was actually John, not...
I think it was John,
not Father.
Me.
It wasn't Father Daniel. I think it was John Arnsworth who noted that he at one point seemed to have more arms than he should have had while he was doing this amazing feat. But you kind of all were lost in the moment of the story as well. So you didn't really strike you that you'd all had your hair cut at the same time kind of until you left. And then it was like, hold on, we've all just been in there at the same amount of time and we'll all come out with haircuts. How did that work?
And I worked out he could well be an Orisha and Ansi.
Yeah, that's right. Anansi. Yeah. Who, whilst you rightly pointed out, is not technically an Orisha, certainly is adjacent to Orisha.
Yes. And certainly a teller of tales.
Yes, most famously a teller of stories. And not always a good figure. Like a important point about Anansi is more interested in the story than the person sometimes.
Yep.
So there are cautionary tales about Anansi. Anansi is not necessarily a figure of good. Anansi is more like most trickster gods, somewhat conflicting character. Does both good and bad things. You then went to Wendell's Flophouse, where you discovered that some people had come to Wendell's Flophouse before you, actually quite recently, had broken into the apartment that he lived in, and you found out all of this through the guy at the front door who actually Anston knew. There was clear signs that someone had turned the place over or was looking for things. You found cigarette butts sort of ground into the floor, and they were not African-American descent. They were pretty obviously some sort of Italian kind of southern Mediterranean bunch.
The heavies.
You've encountered heavies from the mafia before, so you have recorded history. Mind you, that one turned into black goo, and you had to burn a building down to stop them. You then discovered, you actually found Wendell. He was on the ground floor in basically a converted room, which he was using as a recording practice studio, not a recording studio, a practice studio. And you discovered that he had lost the ability to communicate. And the closest approximation you could come up with was that he had advanced dementia. So he had lost the capacity to communicate in words. He didn't have the ability to bring music together anymore. And one of you actually, I think it was you, Amadeus, attempted to guide him through playing the piano. And you found not only was he not in his own right able to play the piano, but he actually wasn't able to keep a beat, like a tune. Like even though you were guiding his hands, he was getting it wrong all the time. He wasn't
sort
learning.
of playing against it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So a really simple example is, there's the chorus bit of every piece of music, and it's usually kind of the same tune. And normally people would pick that kind of common component up and eventually go, oh, I get it. Now we're going to hit this key and this key and this key. And he couldn't do that. He literally couldn't do that. So it was just chaos. Whenever you tried to get stuff, it was chaos. So then you took him to a care facility, which you had arranged, and you kept the gramophone, I think, in the end. I think there was some debate about it.
I packed it up and bought it. Oh, no, we left it at the home. Definitely left it.
Because I was very much against the theft of anything.
What I remember about that conversation.
It's at the home, and I've told them that at some point he will appreciate it again. Probably not right now.
What I loved was that Father Legba's idea of being against the theft was that you should grant it to the church, and therefore it should be taken care of by the church. There was some debate about the definition of theft and ownership at that point, as I vaguely recall. Anyway,
You've watched it more recently than I have.
What I love about that is, the church, it's not for me as the priest, it's for the church.
It's for the church.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we left it with you guys on your way to the recording studio, the Blue Moon Recording Studios on 49 Sherman Avenue, the Bronx. Now, technically speaking, I've drawn the picture slightly wrong in the sense that it's actually kind of all the way up there. If I can get it to allow me to do that. So if you can see the map, I don't know, can you guys see the map?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. So it's actually right up the top here. I put the circle and the thing in the wrong place, but it's right up here in the corner, and you guys are kind of over here in Sugar Hill. Oh, actually, no, sorry, you're at the care facility, so you're wherever you want to be, really. And that is where we start the adventure, with you guys arriving at the Blue Moon Recording Studio.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Hi.
So what's our plan here again? Are we going to knock and ask for the devil?
Something like that, but in different words. I think we want to find out where this recording person went. If they're still here, if they've packed up, if they've run away.
If there's some way of getting back the Wendell's story.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Didn't we maybe try ask to if we soul is recorded on the record? I don't know.
So
it was recorded on records.
Well, you were,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Thomas.
No, go.
Yeah, I guess his soul was taken and recorded on the record.
That was your theory.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
Okay.
recording captured the soul, stole his story.
Well,
So-
do we play it back to him to give it him back?
Is that going to work?
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
I think we
I have no-
discussed this, and we thought it might be worth a try. So, are we outside the shop now?
Yeah, so the
And it looks
building's
closed?
it's not closed. So it's basically a whole series of just small offices and things on this, once again in a kind of tenement storied building. But this is not kind of residential. This is more people working in these spaces. The recording studio, Blue Moon offices and recording studio, are sort of on the ground floor behind effectively a frosted glass sort of door. The door literally just has Blue Moon Recording Studios on it, nothing else to sort of indicate any particular level of import.
Do we knock and ask to talk to the manager? Ask them to hand over the stole record? I don't think, you know what I mean, that's going to go down well.
I'm taking a saunter around the building, just seeing if there's a side entrance or a back entrance or an alleyway.
No. This is just. I know you guys love your fire escape entrances, but this is just a reasonably small office. So really, there's just the front doors. It's on the ground floor.
Just checking for fire escape on either one of the facades.
Yeah. To find them.
Yeah, me.
Or maybe we try to fake it. Said we are eager to record our band, whatever it takes. Maybe trick them that we need to record our.
The Arubius band, you mean?
I'm really not that musical.
We are. You can be our agent.
You
or roadie.
Neither do I.
Are you in your cassock?
Yes.
Okay, just flag it.
I'm always in my cassock.
Yeah, just flag it.
You can represent the church
You could
choir.
have hired us to record gospel music.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. If you think that would work.
Well, it may be a way of getting in,
Okay.
and not appearing that we're here to steal somebody's soul back from the devil.
Yeah.
And if it's gospel music, it may protect us from having our souls sucked away by the devil.
I think.
We could hope so. Yes. We can have.
So this is all going on outside the front doors of this office.
Or on the way.
On the way, okay, all right.
Do you know what I mean? We would have had some sort of conversation on the way to work out what our sort of plan would be before we sort of go in.
Honestly, we are organized, Gov.
Yeah. So, shall we Well, who's going to do the talking then, Alanta?
Obviously, our manager, client.
Yeah.
I'm a little unfamiliar with this sort of thing, but I can certainly try if you wish me to.
Yeah. On you go. They might sniff a really good deal if the manager comes
So
across.
I roll 7 dice in convincing people.
I currently roll 6 dice in convincing people, but I am frightened and hopeless.
Yeah.
I just can't remember my conditions.
Oh, could
You
we have
had
done
one,
something about
by
that?
the way, Atlanta, I'm pretty sure you had one condition.
I have got one condition, and it is frightened.
Yeah.
Right, I roll 6 dice. You're as good as anybody. Get in there.
No, I roll 4.
Because of the conditions.
All right, okay.
I'm frightened and
Okay,
hopeless.
so you swing the door.
Take a step through the door, bell ringing
Okay.
as I go through, and say,
Indeed. All right, so
I'm here to find out about recording.
okay, there's a sort of somewhat older, big-ish Anglo kind of cat behind what appears to be a desk. He's by himself. There's no one else. You can see there's a door behind him with a sort of, a kind of slider on it that slides from recording to not recording.
Right, yeah.
So that you know that someone's recording in there. So, and he's just sitting at this desk. He's got papers
like,
all over it.
Is it an office desk where an owner of a record company sits, or is it a reception desk?
No. He doesn't give you the vibe of reception, and B, it's covered in sort of papers and various other things. It looks like he might do his own reception. Anston.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike you as a. Now he's kind of big and buffy and sort of quite overweight. Sort of looks at you as you walk in, sighs heavily, even as he recognises your race. And you, what did you say? Sorry, you said.
I'm here to find out about recording, I think I said.
Right. Looks at you.
Let me introduce myself. My name's Anston Hughes.
Looks at you hard for a second.
I'm holding out my hand for him to shake it.
Yeah, he doesn't take it. He kind of leaves it hanging there. You record for one of you folk, and then you all come in.
I don't record for any of my folk. What are you talking about? Have you?
Well, what is it getting around in your community that I deal with your kind?
Oh, right. So I'm unaware of this. I thought this was a recording studio. Was there not a sign on the door that talked about Blue Moon Recordings?
It is a recording studio, of course.
And you recorded for another brother? Is that it? I don't know whether brother's a bit too 70s and not 20s, but still.
But it'll do. Yeah, it'll do. Of course, yes.
Oh, who's that? Did he lay down a good tune?
Oh.
Proclaiming innocence of the whole thing.
He looks at you for a second and sort of gives this big exasperated sigh and folds it up with, well, I mean, it's Negro music. So I guess, like, are there enough of you to listen to it? I mean, this is, I don't know. I don't know.
Are there enough of us in Harlem?
Well, I mean, no white person's gonna listen to it. So, like, But anyway, well, look, sorry, I'm just.
I put my hand down on his desk, friendly like, and I'm saying,
Friendly like.
Leaning over the desk is my image of this friendly like moment. Yeah.
Of course, no white person's going to listen to it. This is deep magic. Our music.
Well, that said, a lot of whiteys come into the nightclubs. In Harlem.
Do you mind just stepping back from the desk?
Of course. I'm not looking to intimidate no one.
All right. So you want? Well, look, same deal as the other guy, right? Like I'm doing this at risk. It's not, my reputation's on the line here, right? Like if it gets around that I'm making music for you folk, that's going to be a problem.
Right. So we keep it on the hush hush. This other guy, how much money did he make?
How much money do you make? No. You don't understand. It's how much you pay me to record your music.
So hold on here.
And what happens?
I give you my hard-earned.
Yes.
You record the music.
Yes.
Somebody sells it.
Yes.
You make a number of copies, right?
Yes. So far we're all on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah? You sell those copies, and my brother gets a cut.
Yes. Okay, at that point, can you make for me it's observation, isn't it? Yes, an observation roll, please. And actually, all of you can make an observation roll. This one is pretty transparent. You're all sort of standing around, looking, so watching this. I assume you're all standing in the room sort of silently in the background while you see Atlanta kind of work his magic on this guy.
Yeah, sort of. I just need
Magic
to
might be a strong word, but
come into our club.
observation. It's
I'm pretty clueless. I am a fish out of water at the moment.
Okay.
right down the bottom, last of the skills.
I got one. I had to just click away two.
One on 3 dice. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, well,
One success.
Farnsworth is paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay, so for all of you that were paying attention, when the conversation about when he says the yes with the regards to the cut, you all get the impression that might be a trifle disingenuous.
So, I mean, how many copies did you make of this record of his?
Well,
because I would buy a copy of any brother's music that was recorded at a fine establishment such as this one.
Yeah, well, look, deal for 1,000 copies.
1,000?
1,000 copies. And what do they sell for?
I said
Have they sold out?
I think it's 1,000 copies. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. Yeah.
And what do they sell for?
They sell for I'm underconfident about the pricing of records in 1920 odd, but let's say it's 25 cents a record for the sake of discussion.
Sounds about right.
That's $250 you've made off this tune.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming
50 cents. Let's make it $500. That sounds better.
$500. Yeah. And I'm assuming, business big as it is, you take 300, and my brother, whatever his name is, takes $200.
Well, yeah, that's
given up. You fronted up the cost of recording.
Well, because I'm the one taking the risk here. I mean, you fellas. I mean,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Your reputation's not as mine is.
Can I just check?
2/5 of the price of your sales is a worthy share, is it not?
Oh, look, you know, I mean, if we get into the commercials of this, we could probably talk about it. The deeper you dig on the kind of profit side, the more and more uncomfortable he becomes. So you can actually see him becoming quite uncomfortable with that part of the conversation. And sorry, Amadeus, you were going to ask a question, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt your negotiations, but have you got a copy of that disc you cut? Of that record you made?
Why are you so interested? Like, I get that.
I like his music, is all. You said you needed to sell 1,000. I'm going to take one off your hands.
Yeah, inspiration. Yeah, it's good.
Well, we haven't. Look, it's all gone to the production facility.
Ah, it's being cut, is it?
Well, yeah, the master has been cut, and now it's going off to the sort of the press to kind of, you know, make all the copies.
So did you give the other musician a master? Or have you got the master? Or the two masters?
Well, no,
Yeah, there's one master. And
master.
that's gone to the pressing factory,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, correct.
So you ain't sold any of these yet. That's what you're saying.
No, we haven't sold any. We haven't finished production of them.
And when did you record this track?
3 days ago, give or take. At this point, can I get a... I think it's going to be a manipulation roll. Yeah, no, it is going to be a manipulation roll. And the purpose of this manipulation roll is you're obviously trying to get him to tell you more and more.
Yes.
In the conversation with him, right? So this is about him twigging to what's going on, right? So the better your manipulation roll...
Just passing the time.
Yeah,
Okay,
like...
and manipulation?
Yeah.
Not from me,
Manipulation.
Yeah.
because I have to click away too for conditions.
I've got one condition, so I could get rid of that. And roll.
Oh, wow.
nice.
All right,
Good roll.
that's pretty good. So you've sort of got him into the flow of the conversation, and you're sort of holding him from paying too much attention to exactly what, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like that kind of, no, but tell me more. And then at some point he's going to say, hold on a second, what did I just say? But that's probably a fair way away based on this. All right, so
While the conversation's going on, can I sort of like very, very calmly just move? I'm a priest. People, you generally ignore me. I'm moving around. I want to basically, I'll be not standing far enough away from him not to basically trigger him, but close enough so I can read stuff on his desk. Would that be a stealth roll?
I don't think it's a stealth roll. I mean, you can let's make it an investigation or vigilance roll. I'll be happy with either, so you can choose.
I'm rubbish at both. Okay.
Don't say
I
that.
think that's going to be a 1 dice, I believe. Let me just check my logic. Yeah, it's 1 dice.
Okay.
No,
That's a
it.
1. So you can't make out anything on the desk, but there are others of you other than Atlanta who's kind of leading the charge. So all right, so we've sort of established the flow is going to continue. No, I don't have a copy of the record. Haven't even listened to it yet. They played like 3 days ago. I didn't listen. I mean, it's Negro music, so no interest to me. But Farino, George recorded it, and he cut the master. Hasn't been in for days.
George.
Yeah, George. Hasn't been in for days.
Italian George.
Well, yeah, but he's, yeah.
Yeah, I know him. He comes into the clubs quite often, listens to us play. That's interesting. What's his surname again?
Farino?
Can't think of it. It's gone in my head.
What do you mean? George Farino goes to your clubs?
Yeah. He's always scouting for new talent.
He's looked very oddly at you when you say that.
Yeah.
You actually might be very right. Like, George might very well actually like music and therefore go to listen to musicians playing music in Harlem, as lots of people do. But this guy's brain doesn't comprehend a white person listening to Negro music. Like, it's literally something he doesn't process. Mind you, he's a bit sus on Farino because, like, you know, he's Italian, so already suspect. So, George, okay, sure. It's not something I knew about George. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you know, he's fired anyway, so probably just one more.
You fired him? Why is that?
For not turning up, I guess.
I'll fire him when he finally turns up to work. He's been in for 2 days.
So he's your engineer, right? He didn't come in here as a client.
Yeah, he's my engineer. He's the recording engineer.
Because, you know, this white man science that you guys do, it's fascinating to me. Tell you what.
So who else is in the recording then?
If I brought him back to you.
You don't need to bring him back. I don't want him. He's fired.
Can you record?
I mean, doubly fired now. Anyway.
Can you do it?
What, doubly fired because he listens to black man's music?
Well, I mean, you know, what does it say about his, you know, taste, quality? I'm a bit worried. Sorry, Father Daniel, what were you going to say?
Who else was involved? Was it just him and the musicians?
Yeah.
George and the musicians?
Yeah, a bunch of, you know, African-American guys and George. Yeah. He doesn't use the word African-American, but as previously described, we won't be using that word.
I'm hearing the word that he uses in my head.
Yes, thank you.
Ginger.
No, we'll just say African-American. It's easier to remember. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what that's about, but I know that it's, you know, whatever. Now, can I get, I think it'll be vigilance rolls from both Amadeus and John.
Just going to look over my notes, what I've missed, because I feel like we're treading water.
Nope. But I guess it's...
We've got this Italian chap's name.
3 5s and a 6.
That's nice. If we were playing Band of Blades, you'd be in like Flynn, mate.
I'd be laughing.
Okay, so Amadeus, you're sort of standing with Anston while Anston is leading the charge on this conversation. You can see that there's a bunch of papers on the desk. Mm-hmm. You can actually see what looks like, you know, you're casually glancing. You're basically doing what Father Daniel was trying to do a few minutes ago. You're just looking over the desk while the chat's going on. Mm-hmm. You can see a recording contract. You can actually see Wendell Young's name on like a big, thick, well, not thick, but like a couple of pages thick document. Mm-hmm. Like at the front, you know, on the top is sort of recording contract between, you know, Wendell Young and Blue Moon Recording Studios, and there's some material.
Does it name the name Cliff Parkinson?
Cliff Perkins.
Perkins.
Keith Perkins.
Cliff.
Oh, Cliff. Cliff.
Isn't Cliff Perkins from the Blue Moon Gramophone
That's what I've got in my notes as well.
Yeah, that's this guy. Yeah, that's this guy. That's the guy you're talking to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Holstein Music.
Right. I am just linking stuff.
Yeah, Casper Holstein is the investor that invested in Young. So, and yes, Holstein Music was what had been agreed.
So, say anything useful that's on that contract with Wendell.
Well, what you notice, so on the contract is obviously, you know, an agreement between A and B. There's, I don't even know when whiteout was invented. When was whiteout invented? Oh, who cares? There's kind of a scrib note around the name. with the what's the name of the guy? Let me just. Oh, actually, it's right in front of me. Why don't I just look it up? Scarlotti interest? Question mark. Sort of.
He was the Italian boss, wasn't he?
So you've run into a couple of Italian bosses over your time. It's not a name you instantly recognise, or at least it's not a name that you instantly put to that. But yeah, it's there.
Scarlotti.
All right, so he's sort of answering your questions. You're rapid firing them at him. He's told you he doesn't have the record. He hasn't listened to it. He's happy. Look, if you want to go and talk to George, you can. I can give you his address. I don't really care. Matter of fact, you can do me a favour and tell him he's fired.
I'll take that message for you.
Don't really mind. Yeah.
I hand out my. I hold out my hand for the address.
Can I just knock out the papers and we can take the contract with us?
You can absolutely do attempt such a maneuver. That would be stealth, I think.
Yeah.
As a sort of, kind of general kind of
Clumsiness.
clumsiness and sleight of hand kind of thing. Yeah.
It's a shame that I'm the best at that.
Okay.
You are. Half-inching stuff.
Yep.
Okay, you going to attempt it or me?
I'll let you do it. I do have 7 dice in it though.
I'll get 5, so you can do that.
Not so pretty, are you, Father Daniel?
I am.
He's a man of many talents.
All of them dodgy. Anyway, roll your dice, John.
Okay.
You spotted it. I didn't see it.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. So but hold on. So you scatter the papers over the floor. So describe how that goes down. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, just moving on, and I just turn my back to just get out of the door, but with my hand, I just knock off the papers out of the desk.
All right, so you scatter a whole bunch of papers onto the floor. Casper sort of looks angry. Now, at this point, the papers are on the floor, so I will give you the capacity to kind of.
I will
this moment
pick them up.
You want?
I will pick them up for him.
Yeah, we can all help.
Hopefully, let me get those for you and shuffle them all together.
Yeah. Sorry, sir.
Your condition showing doesn't matter. You made a success.
Well, I've got wounded. I don't know if it did.
You've actually got a physical condition as well. Okay.
I have got a physical condition.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you scatter the papers on the ground, John, and Father Daniel sort of steps in and shuffles them all back together, and sort of parcels them back up to him in a pile now. So they're just all piled together. Where
there you go, my son.
Sort of spread out, and he looks really annoyed. Like,
accidents happen.
You ruined my filing system, kind of annoyed, right? Like, I had a completely disorganized pile of papers that were all organized in the way that I want them disorganized. And now you put them all into a kind of effectively a column and just jam them onto the table in a single pile. And he's like, now I'm going to have to pile them all out again. In that process, you've grabbed the recording contract.
Yep.
From him.
Well done.
All right. So, all right. So it'll cost you a couple of hundred. Cost you a couple of hundred to get the master made. If you want to look, I can show you the recording space behind the door. Here, so you can, but look, needs to be organised. I'll need an engineer. George is fired. I'll have to find one. It's really hard to find good
We
help
can
in
take a
Harlem.
look.
You know, that
Hey,
sort of thing.
Amadeus.
Sure. Let's see. Have you got a piano in there?
But I reckon, you know, you're clever with a booklet, and you might even be an engineer.
I might know them.
Yeah, so he sort of, you know, looks horrified when you suggest this. Like, sorry, did you just say?
I mean, admittedly, all the music you record would have to have a rhythm, but
So it doesn't look too similar to this kind of setup that I'm sharing now. So you've got this giant sort of cone, which is sort of pointing at effectively, you know, kind of big cutting, like the thing that actually cuts the records the sound, and all of the instruments are parked on one side of the cone. So it's not electric recording. So you don't have electronic microphones yet. So this is all done through sound vibration through the cone that then bounces
onto a soft waxy thing with a harder needle.
Yeah, and then
they
the
use
soft
a
waxy
softer
thing
needle
is
to play it back.
To be mastered. So it's that sort of setup. And you can see there's a couple of instruments here, particularly the bigger ones. Anything small like a trumpet, you're expected to bring yourselves, but obviously there's a piano, there's drums, there's a couple of other things that cover off that space.
So that machine that actually does the recording seems to be hidden behind that little curtain there. Can a curious black fellow like me just pop his head behind that curtain and without the white fella getting cross?
You're gonna sort of, oh no, it's fine. He kind of allows you to do that. Yeah.
Black square is probably a little window.
Yeah, it looks like a little.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep an eye on what's going on in there.
Yeah. And see that, you know, things are working, right?
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Me neither, but I can have a look at the piano and try it out. Whether it's in tune.
Yeah, it's in tune. Yep. Yeah.
That might do.
Yeah, so there were there were 4 of them. So, you know, there was a drums guy, trombone, trumpet, the guy that signed the contract, playing in here. So 4 of you could easily fit in. Tested that. And we lay down the record here, and it goes pretty quick.
Hold on. So it wasn't just him playing on his own.
No, and it's banned.
There are 3 other people here that we should check on their whereabouts and state of mind. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I mean, what do you?
I'm just following that for a moment.
Yeah, he sort of looks confused by that commentary. No, look, I don't know what you're talking about. Look, anyway, that's where it's at. You can go and check on what's going on with the other African Americans to, you know, fill your needs. Yeah. Look, I think this is enough, right? And he's like,
yeah. I think we're done here. I'm doing a quick cast around for any of the weird symbols that we have seen in any of our previous adventures.
Right, no signs of anything of that
sort. So the studio has not been taken over by the devil himself.
It has not. No.
Right, let's make our way out then.
So the guy is not wearing blue, right?
Thank you, sir.
The guy is not wearing blue. He is not. He is not wearing blue.
See, Baron.
Now, you've grabbed the. So you guys sort of heading out?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the address, I hope, of the engineer?
Yes, with the address of the engineer. He gives you George's address. And you also have this. So you have the contract.
Yep. Somebody nicked
So the
it.
contract is an exclusive recording
Whiteout was
agreement between
invented in the
Young.
mid-50s, by the way.
What was?
Whiteout was invented in the mid-50s, by the
Okay,
way.
there is no whiteout. Two-sided gramophone disc to be recorded for the Holstein Recording Company, Harlem. 1,000 duplicates. Standard cardboard sleeve. Jasper, and deliver them to Jasper Holstein.
Casper.
So Jasper Holstein basically said he hadn't had
Casper,
the
sorry,
recordings. Or Casper
Yeah.
Holstein said he hadn't had the recordings.
No, he said
He
he's
does,
not.
yeah, he hasn't had the
No, this is the
master.
contract. This is actually
the
the
1,000 copies.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying he said he hasn't had it. So obviously we need to go to the place. So Bloody Mano, Fred.
Yeah, so it's Buddy Marino, Fred Kearns,
Anthony Jackson
Anthony Jackson.
on the corner.
Right.
Now, do we know
Other
any of
names
these
the other
musicians?
players. I think
For my
you
time
probably
playing
look
stuff.
with the same logic as previously applied. You probably know of them just by being a jobbing musician yourself, right? So you've travelled in the same circles. They're all Harlem locals, so none of them are out of towners. So I think the chances are you have met all of them, yes, at one point or another.
And there's two sides to this contract, are there?
No, this is just
the one.
This is just the one page. I will. Right. Okay. I don't need to do it then. Thank you, Daniel. Go.
Duplication will be occurred at the Blue Moon duplication in
251 West.
Where is 15? Yeah,
251
251.
West 154th Street, New York.
New York. Okay. So that's where we need to go next. Or we need to check up on the missing engineer and the other musicians, because if the engineer is in the same state, we know it's a epidemic of some sort, or at least catching in some way or other, or happened an event that happened with all that affected all of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure that is actually what happened. Wendell made a deal, right?
Yep.
The deal might have been that he recorded the perfect song, but after that, he lost it.
Yes, but he's missing his engineer. And logically, if we go to the engineer's house and we find out that he's also unfortunately lost his story, it means that the event or the recording took all their stories.
Yeah, worth a go. We have the address for George, so.
And he's just 2 blocks down from where you currently are.
I'm slightly nervous about breaking into an Italian's house.
Didn't go well last time you broke into a.
Yeah, we just. Did we set the building on fire? I guess. Yeah, we set the building on fire.
Somebody did.
Somebody, some nerdwell did that. I'm sure.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
All right, so you're going to Farino's apartment.
Mm.
Okay, cool. It's literally 2 blocks from where you are currently. You could walk there. It's just across the bridge on the other side of the river. So we'll just go. Are you guys happy with what you've got from this? Can I put the map back up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, please.
Awesome. This one. I think it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
It's a different map.
That's a different map. Still a good map. But
This is
it's
the
wrong
player
map.
version.
No, this is. Yeah, this is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. It's this one that we want. Yeah. There we are. Okay. So, Farino's apartment is just about there. There. And only because you're pretty close to, because you've got the address, so I've just put it in so that we know where it is for future reference. Yeah, just across the bridge. Right, okay, yeah. So just across that bridge right there. I'll put it in its different colour, actually, just to be unique. This is where the fabrication production facility is.
Sorry, I zoomed in. Where is it?
Just over here across Markham's
there. Yes.
Dam Bridge.
I see it.
All right, so you're off to Farino's. Okay, so George lives on the 3rd floor of an apartment block. The doors are not locked, as in the doors to the apartment block are not locked, so you can make your way up the stairs quite readily. You go up 3 flights of stairs. It's probably a little bit more middle class than a lot of the apartments, further into the African American component of Harlem. But broadly speaking, it's exactly the same as every apartment tenement building you've ever seen. The door to the apartment itself is closed, which I feel I need to say because so many times you rock up at apartments and someone's already kicked in the door. Yeah, so it's closed.
Okay. There is any fire escape ladder? As usual.
Fire escapes.
I might just knock on the door.
I have developed this image that every apartment block in New York has an outdoor fire escape that leads to every window of every apartment. I'm pretty sure that's probably not true, but yeah, it feels like it should be. Sure. I mean, I don't need or want to make access to the apartment hard, so if you want to go on the outside and do the fire escape trick that you do every time, you can go on the outside and do the fire escape trick.
I was going to pop the lock, but never mind.
I was going to knock on the door.
So you scatter. One of you knocks on the door, the other one's bent down, and the third one's running down the stairs to get to the fire escape.
I am not going for the fire escape.
Well, Atlanta stands in awe of the level of, parallel processing that's currently being achieved by the group. So you knock on the door. There is no answer.
Well, in that case, feel free to pop the lock, Father.
Does the door open?
Does not. It is locked.
I'll pop the lock.
Okay.
Is that a stealth roll?
I believe it will be. Yes, please.
You have many talents, Father. I should be one.
Hey! And one of them is click.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways, and sometimes we need to as well.
Yeah, sure. Not argue.
Okay, so you pop the lock. The door sort of. Well, I guess it's still locked. You've popped it, but you haven't twisted it. There's a click sound from the outside. What do you want to do? Like as in the lock unlocking.
I'll sort of gesture to the door.
All right.
I think it's open.
I'll try it out.
Okay, so you twist the lock and push the door open. Opens happily.
I just checked for traps as, like last time.
Grenades.
Get out.
No shotguns on this one, right?
10-foot
So many learned behaviours.
Out of this scenario.
Hey, hold on. We could have blown ourselves up in the last apartment where we went to.
Indeed.
Well, we didn't go
That's
through
true.
the door.
That's true.
We went up the bloody fire escape. This is the right thing to do.
It's a trap.
No debate whatsoever. You twist the lock. You do your checking around the lintel of the door to make sure there isn't some hanging
grenade. That's what it was.
Grenade. You can't find any wires attached to grenades.
Okay.
You're reasonably confident that You step in. So, well, you push the door open. It's a small apartment. It's not big. As the door swings open, can I get a fear check from everyone, please?
Not again. Do fear checks? Yeah. No, I guess conditions do count against them, don't they?
Yep.
So you can do logic or empathy, right?
Conditions count against fear checks.
That's a good question. I feel like I need to read the rules on that one. Do conditions apply?
Well, with the conditions applied, I don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got very little chance. I would have said, my gut would say no, but I might be wrong.
Fear.
They don't apply.
Rules question. Maybe our chat can help as well.
Quick to the chat, everyone.
68.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mental conditions add penalties to fear tests.
There you go.
There you go.
2. It's the third paragraph on the page.
Yeah, I'm just reading it right now.
Ouch.
Well, in that case, I failed it.
To get a success on. Shit.
I've got 2 dice to get a success on.
Oh, however, I do get a success.
All right, son.
Answer, can you make a fear check for me, please?
Sorry, I was disconnected.
No, that's all right. That's why I'm saying it.
So, what level of fear was it?
Just one.
Well, that's
So I need to take another condition, right?
Oh, just saw it in the camera.
Perhaps I should describe what drives the fear, what drives the check, and then you can make a determination.
Yeah.
Hanging directly in front of you from effectively the door jamb. Oh, not the door jamb. Like they've tied themselves to. Oh, we'll do the fan. They've tied themselves to a fan. Is a body. Someone has. Is hanging from what looks like twisted sheeting. You don't recognize them, but you assume based on the appearance, noting that when they're dead, they look a bit different. But they do have a sort of southern Mediterranean look to them. They're dressed in pretty normal clothing. Is George Farino.
Ooh. Yeah, I failed the test.
Okay. So each of you takes 1 fear point from seeing the dead body of the person when the door opens.
So I'm now on.
Which makes me angry.
Me too.
Yeah,
On this waste of life. And that's my last condition. I'm on 3 conditions now.
Yep, same.
I'm frightened.
Very close to be broken.
I am not scared.
You are not.
Cynical at this.
You've seen dead bodies before, and you've become inured. Okay. So that's what you see immediately.
So it makes you fear. Now, what? I'm no good at this sort of looking around, but I'm going to look. Did he kill himself? Or is there any evidence that somebody set him up with it? I'm looking at
Is there a chair, basically?
There is a chair. Yep. Kicked kind of free. Lying sort of on its side directly underneath the hanging body.
Yeah.
It's the best way to ascertain whether it was, intentional or not is either a use of investigation or medicine. You may use either, and I will point out that is open to anyone in the group to make that discovery.
Amadeus, my first thought is, do we want to cut him down, or is that going to leave fingerprints over this place? It's going to get us arrested.
Well, look, I wouldn't touch
them. Are there fingerprints around? Is there fingerprint sort of?
Well, why
didn't know when
don't you call your
got...
friends in the fascist police force and ask them to come and test for us?
Oh, Does he
Got on so
appear?
well with them.
Right.
Does he appear old? Like, sorry, I forgot his name.
Like Wendell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
No. Well, I mean, he looks dead, so
Yes.
that kind of creates a sort of, like a slightly different appearance and look.
I'm too frozen in fear to actually notice anything with my medicine skills.
I'm
taking out my handkerchief and rubbing
now.
the surface.
There is a letter. There's like a handwritten note underneath the body, since you're checking around the body, by the way. By the way, did we get the medicine roll? Yes, we did, and no, we did not. You can't tell. You just can't tell.
And you're leaving him hanging there, aren't we?
Yeah, don't touch him.
I'm wiping up all the fingerprints that I saw you put on the doorknob and stuff when you tested it, and around the edge of the door when you were looking for grenades and all
I was
that
wearing,
sort of stuff.
definitely was wearing gloves. It's not my first rodeo.
What's the note say?
You can't
Shall
tell.
we?
So you pick up the note, or well, I assume you look at the note at least. Sorry, I made an assumption there. So noting you're putting all this effort, are you picking up the note, or are you just looking at it on the ground?
I'm maybe touching it with a stick to see whether I can open it and read it. That's
It's actually just open. It's just a piece of paper lying on the ground.
right. Can I read it?
No. And what I mean by that is, yes, obviously you can read it.
There are words.
The words make no sense. So it looks just like this.
Oh.
So it's in the letterhead of the Blue Moon Company. And look, if you zoom in, it'll get a bit fuzzy because pixelation. But the actual point of this letter is there are words there. Some of them are actually English words, but it's gibberish. The letter itself is completely gibberish. There is no coherent
Is this some form
sentence or
of
idea.
music notation?
No, it is literally just letters strung together, and in some cases words strung together in meaningless gibberish.
Nicely formatted for gibberish.
Yeah, it's got nice handwriting.
Do you suppose this is the sort of thing that, just as a frustrated man who can't play music anymore bangs on the piano, is this the sort of gibberish that a frustrated man who's lost his story is now writing words that aren't connected?
Maybe he was trying to write a story, yeah.
Yeah, I think that answers our question. We best leave.
Yeah. Should we close the door after?
And this is the engineer, right?
Yeah.
This is the engineer. Yeah.
Oh, so do we try and find one of the other musicians?
Bloody, I think it's more important that we go to the Blue Moon Duplication Company.
Yeah. Before we've opened
Get hold of that recording.
bodies and gone down to zero.
We go on 1,000 more
Conditions.
people affected by this recording. And I have a horrific thought that the Blue Moon Duplication Company might well be as badly affected. Because why has not because the contract, and I'll quickly show the contract. The contract basically says that it was going to be sent on to Casper Holstein. Why has it not been sent? Why have not the 1,000 recordings been sent to Casper Holstein? It's because they're most probably at the duplicators, and the duplicators listened to the music and went
to Lally.
Went to Lally.
Okay.
Oh, well, let's get going, I guess.
Should we take some sort of precautions before we go? I don't know.
Yeah, some earplugs.
So did you want to, I guess I will ask the question, do you want to try and recover some of your conditions at this point?
If at all possible, yes.
Yeah.
So we could have a social moment.
You're kind of all feeling a bit destroyed now. That's my sense of it.
I've used my rosary already.
Oh, what's my...
I can't remember.
You can use your memento, can't you, to get one back one condition?
You can. You can use a memento to recover one condition.
Ah, yes, the Book of Poems. Might just
so you may all do that as a suggestion.
I can't. The only other way is talking for a long period of time, which we don't have.
We can. We can go to Speakeasy and have a drink together.
You're feeling pretty damaged.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to a Speakeasy.
Speakeasy.
Or to music club.
And have a cup of tea.
So
we could go to the castle, whatever it's called.
Oh yes.
Fortress.
The base of our order.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Italian?
The armory.
The armory.
The armory.
Yeah.
Got there eventually.
I was just pulling up my notes on OneNote. It's the armory. Got there eventually. All right, so you're going to go to the armory and relax and have a drink and just recalibrate for a moment. So you can all use your memento. That's fine. That'll give you back one mental condition. And then noting you're taking the time, who would like to make a inspiration roll to sort of give people back mental condition?
Can only be one of us, right?
Yes, I think I'll rule it can only be one of you. So
yeah, I would have.
So I am now
3 dice.
Entirely unfrightened.
Yeah.
Shall I play a blues track for you guys
Play us a tune.
horn?
Yeah. I've got inspiration, but it would normally be 6 dice, but I've only got 3 at the moment.
And probably seeing this guy being hanged would probably give me 2 fear points instead of 1 because of my trauma.
So if you roll inspiration, it'll be 3 conditions per success.
Okay.
3 conditions per success. Here we go.
Just make it 9 or something.
Look at all those dice. I can roll them all. Don't need to delete any of them.
Unbelievable. God.
My music is
your music is brilliant.
Soothing.
So good. All right, so I'm pretty sure
that's 12 conditions.
You just dangle a record deal in front of him.
Recording studio, record this now.
Each extra success.
Okay,
you can
Miles
heal.
Davis.
I'll take 2 if I may.
1920s.
I think, how many conditions did you need to heal in total? 6, I think. How many were you down, John? Were you down any?
I was down 1 when when I saw the guy being hanged.
Yeah.
I only had 1.
Yeah,
But
so
I should probably take more because of my dark secret, but up to you in the end.
I can't remember what it is. Hold on.
Well, your dark secret is just being wiped out by these extra successes here.
Yeah. Well, even if John's got 3 conditions.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. I've just read your dark secret. Yeah, you could probably have scored. Yeah, but no, yeah, wow. I think an extra condition would have been appropriate. But look, it's irrelevant because they're all gone.
Yep.
Atlanta,
so
that was
everyone is
beautiful.
fully recovered. All right, so you recover.
I'm still wounded.
Oh, well, I can't do anything about that. Mind you, the doctor could
have you not seen my music?
The doctor can treat at this point and recover
my music
people's
can make the lame
conditions.
walk.
It seems it can. Have you thought about going to a crossroad and making a deal? Who knows how good you could be, Anston?
I'd be the guy in the blue coat, mate.
Oh, right. Nice. Nicely played. All right. So, just on that note then, so I'll just to hand wave that, are you now...
Go into the duplicate.
So first question is, and just a very serious question, Amadeus, are you treating Daniel's injury at this point?
If he's injured, I'll give it a go.
Yeah. Is anyone else injured at this point, or is it only Daniel?
Where's my medicine gone?
No.
Can I use my doctor's bag?
Yeah, 100%. You're calming down. You're in a place of quiet.
So that's 4 successes.
4. Same story. Okay. Yeah. Completely. Yeah. Wow.
I was inspired by the music.
Obviously, the armory is a place of significant rest for you guys.
Yes. Our haven.
You're ready for anything now.
It's like Castle Grubenstein or whatever it's called in the game.
Gyllenhaal or something.
Gyllenhaal, yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenstein? Yeah. Gyllenhaal is Jake Gyllenhaal. That's somebody else.
Okay, so you are now on your way to the little green dot. So just to make it clear, this green dot where I'm drawing the arrow towards. Oh, hold on. Am I showing you the map?
Yeah.
Or am I just showing you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Right.
No, showing the map.
All right, right there. That right there. That circle right there. That's the circle you're going to. So this is much more of sort of industrial-looking space. The pressing space is a sort of like a warehousey kind of setup. There's big double doors. There's a single door. It's brick veneer. There's kind of a small kind of painted in windows, or not painted in, but like, you know, dust covered and dark and not easy to see through. Blue Moon sort of printing for what was it called? Recordings.
Duplication.
Yeah, Blue Moon duplication. You know, kind of plastered over the door in large white letters painted onto the door. What do you want to do?
Knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door. There's some noise from in there. There's you can hear sort of noise coming from in there, but no one comes to the door.
Is it unlocked?
Is there fire escape?
Is it unlocked? Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Twist the lock. It's definitely unlocked.
Amadeus, you got the gloves.
Yes, I do. So, I'll have a look.
Okay, so you open the door.
Yeah.
All right, so
a pistol in my pocket.
Okay, good to know. There's so there's what appears to be a couple of desks. Well, not appears. There's a couple of desks. There's some shelving, which has what looks like records, either blanks or pressed records on the shelving. There's, I know I have no idea what this actually looks like, but there's a large press for this purpose, for the purpose of pressing for records, sort of in the background. There's and then there's like a couple of figures. So who went through first?
Right. Amadeus did. I was following him with my pistol.
Okay. There's two guys sort of in amongst the desks, right? So there's these desks, and you can imagine there's 4 desks, and they're sort of set up in the sort of front space, and then all of this kind of shelving and the printing, the record press is in the background. There's 2 guys sort of almost in the sort of like the space between the sort of 2x2. So sort of straight down in front of you, you can see the back of one guy. He's sort of bent low. He's like looking at someone else. You can see the face of the other guy. He's also bent low. They're both facing off against each other. One of them has one of them's got like a big Rolodex, like the kind of flip Rolodex with all the little cards in it. He's got it in both hands, right? He's got it in both hands, and he's sort of lifting it above his head, going like this with it. And the other guy's got what looks like a letter opener. So sort of long, thin piece of slim metal, but like a knife, but it's not like fancy. So it's just a piece of bent metal that you would use to sort of slip open things. So not particularly sharpened, more intended to sort of, just flick it open. And he's holding that in the other hand, and they're sort of like, and they're like looking at each other, and they've paid no attention to you guys sort of opening the door. Like they're completely focused on each other. In the background, sort of standing kind of near the press, is a third person who's kind of just looking at the ceiling, just looking. Like they're just looking up at the ceiling, like once again paying no attention to you. And then there's a sobbing sound coming from around the sort of corner of one of these shelves. So you can tell the sobbing's coming from the other side of a shelf set up.
Oh dear, I think the music has taken its toll.
Yes. Can we see the press? Is it moving? Does there seem to be a master on there?
It's not moving. You can't see the ground, like, so you would have to get past these guys to see, like, around the printing press. So you can't see at this distance anyway. You can't make it.
I'm going to slip in. See if I can basically work my way around them, avoiding their eye line.
Okay, I will definitely want a stealth roll for that, please. And I will want it with a 1 dice penalty.
Ooh. Why are you so stealthy as a father?
Nope, failed.
Would you like to push that?
Yeah, I'm going to push that. I'm going to take a exhausted to push that. Yes.
Okay, so you successfully sort of slide down the side, right? So 4 desks in a kind of quadrant sort of setup. They're in the middle, facing off against each other. You've slipped around the outside edge of these 2 desks and sort of sidled along, between the desk and the wall a bit. You can now see their faces, and they've got that same sort of incomprehensible, but it's not. It's the opposite. Yeah. That non-comprehending look on their faces as they are facing off against each other. I am going to ask you to make a fear roll, because at this point it is clear to you that this is happening everywhere. Like, so you're kind of hit by the realization that something is going on. It's impacting everyone who's associated with it.
Do you want it from all of us?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Fear roll again. I'm using my logic and saying they must have listened to the music.
Totally know what's going on.
Yeah, and also okay with it, which is disturbing. But, let's let that go. Let's let that go.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the same as religion, isn't it? That's why you're so cool with it.
Yeah.
But 1, that's enough.
1 success.
Oh, no!
Oh. Obviously freaked out that the music is killing people.
Fear of the masses is not your thing, it turns out, Anston. So 1 fear, 1 condition for you, Lars.
It's probably the realization that music can be turned to evil.
Yeah.
No, but did you not just hear me play?
Yeah.
I think I'm probably hopeless.
Well, I think what impacts you is like the realization that this is stealing the thing that makes you you, right? Like, this is what you do.
Yeah,
this is literally the very antithesis of what you are and what you want to be.
Did you not just see what I did for the guys back at the armory? And this is...
And imagine losing
this
that.
is the opposite of that.
Like, imagine losing that. All right, so you've sidled past them. So that's what you've done. Can I ask what the other three of you are doing? So John, Atlanta, and Amadeus, what are your actions at this
I was
point?
going to go for the whimpering.
Yeah.
Okay, that does mean getting past the two guys facing off against each other with the, office equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
So
going
stealth.
with Amadeus.
Right, so you're all basically trying to creep past these two guys who are threatening each other.
Yeah.
Okay, Anston, what are you doing?
Well, I was going to go for the whimpering, but seeing as the others are going to go for the whimpering, I'm pulling out my pistol and just covering the whole scene, ready if these guys, these angry people make a leap for one of our people, I'll shoot them down.
All right, are both of you going to push that roll, or are you going to accept the consequence?
I'm
Without
going
pushing.
to push it. I might still
Yeah.
get the consequence, of course.
We'll push it.
Ah, that's better.
So
we remove
mark
the,
down a physical condition,
Yeah,
please.
we'll do. So should
we,
decide which one.
we remove the dice after pushing, right?
I'm exhausted.
After pushing it.
Correct.
Yeah, one second.
Hey,
Okay.
nice one.
Unbelievable. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you all
Yeah.
sidle past. They're just so focused on each other
Yeah,
that they're
I'm
paying no
frightened.
attention to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you sidle past. All right, so all of you have crept past now, except for Anston, who's still at the door, effectively holding the pistol and kind of covering.
Now that the others are crept past, I will work my way past them as well.
Okay, make a stealth roll.
Because I don't think there's anything I can do in this room.
All right. So you do the stealth roll.
Yeah.
Father Daniel, you've stepped around the tables, and in front of you is the printing press. There's a smashed up sort of
Master,
yeah. So
thank God for that. It saved me doing it.
And 1,000 copies.
I sneak past them.
Cool. Okay, so you're all passed. And funny story, even though you were the only one that failed your fear check, you're also all carrying the same level. Well, you're all carrying conditions now, which is nice. The master is smashed, but a couple of things. So you can see the sort of. So the way the master works is it use the master to create a sort of imprint, and then you copy off the imprint.
Yeah.
So the press has what looks like an imprint on it.
Okay.
Which, and I quote, looks somewhat like a sort of, what does it say? Copy of the curse record. The mold. It looks like, so the mold is there. So you could, right now, you
I
could fire up the mold.
linked a picture. I've linked a picture. You can actually see what they look like.
On the Discord.
Yeah.
On the Discord.
On the Discord.
Discord.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, that is actually kind of what I was expecting. So, yeah, so the mold is there, and then what you would do is you put the blank in and it presses down, then you both sides. So
if you got like a knife, and then it would destroy the
Scratch it.
You
the mold.
could easily damage the mold. It's not hard, but the mold is currently there. It's in the.
I will easily damage the mold then.
Right, so no hesitation, you just destroy it.
Yeah.
Now there's the guy standing next to the press who's kind of looking up at the roof, kind of just ignoring the universe.
Yep, if he's ignoring the universe, I can't do anything, unfortunately, to save him, but I can potentially save other people.
All right, so you pull out a knife and you literally just cut across both sides of the mold, I assume.
Yeah, well, I'm literally just completely utterly moving, on both sides, on both parts of the
press. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, so you're doing that. Are you trying to do that particularly silently?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We'll worry about that in a sec. Atlanta, Amadeus, and John, you have all beelined for the sobbing voice.
Yeah, we can't resist that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so there is a person... Sorry.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm not, with the other two looking after that person, I'm just scouting around, seeing what else I can find here. I'm not breaking the mold. I can't bring myself to break the music, even if that's there. But I'm just saying if there's any other clues to what's gone on, why this is evil music. It almost feels like the white guy in the recording studio was right. But I'm not going to believe that.
So for the two people then who've made the beeline, so it's Amadeus and John, there is a small woman tucked into the corner of one of the shelving spaces, just wailing, sobbing and wailing. So Atlanta, you snuck past. They've gone there. Sorry, I was just quickly catching up on something. What were you doing?
Keeping an eye out.
Right, just keeping an eye out.
No, I'm kind of looking around for any clues as to what might have gone wrong. Because some, people make records all the time and they don't go mad. There's got to be something. I don't know whether it's here, maybe back in the studio.
People don't make bargains with the Baron in blue before making the recording.
We've only got that story. There's got to be something here that explains this.
We need to find
there's
out.
got to be 1,000 copies of the vinyl.
We need to find out whether they've
Let's
been
hope
printed.
there aren't 1,000 copies of the vinyl, because if there are, there's 1,000 copies we'd have to destroy.
Yeah, well,
Let's see whether they were printed and whether they were shipped or something. Because if they're still
I don't think
here,
they'll be shipped because they're getting shipped to Casper Holstein.
they're getting shipped around now.
Oh,
what's this?
For all of you, there is a note. Blue Moon Duplication Production Ledger.
It's a bit fuzzy.
It is a bit fuzzy, so I'm going to tell you what it says. A shipment, the last entry is a shipment of 1,000 records listed as Deluxe Jazz Orchestra, Two-Step Blues, Wendell Jumps In. The ledger also shows one promotional copy of Young's record was sent to Cliff Perkins at his home office, and one was also sent to Paul Scarlotti,
The financier.
with an address attached.
Scarlotti's the mafiosi, right?
And the 1,000 were sent where?
To the warehouse,
Warehouse.
which has an
Is there an address
address.
for the warehouse here?
Yep, there's an address for the warehouse. And it is... Do I actually have it up here? Oh, I think it's just notionally there. Let me just triple check that I don't have an address.
215 3rd Avenue, East Harlem, I think, if I read that correctly.
Yeah, I think... let me just see where if it's on the map. Sorry, just give me 1 second.
I thought Casper Holstein was the financier. Paul
Well,
Scarlotti.
the Scarlotti guy, I think, chipped in money.
Okay.
He's an Italian gangster mafia guy.
Why an Italian? Why a gangster would they want some records? Okay.
To rob the working man of some money, John, as usual.
So it looks like someone shipped 1,000 copies of the record to the warehouse. Well, explicitly 1,000 copies of the record have been shipped to the warehouse.
Do we know, have we got an address of the warehouse?
It's on the ledger, yeah.
Okay, all right. So... Is that
and a copy went to...
Is that 1672?
Let's go with yes. I will just
1672 something or other. I can't read it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the handouts to see if it's better. It's easier to read in the handout on the book.
Scarlatti 2. Yeah. Well, we got the address.
Yeah, somewhere like 1672
Wendell Avenue or something like that.
Wendell Avenue, yeah, let's go with that. It's okay. It's unfortunately it's not marked on the map. So we'll just go with it's a warehouse. Kind of on the river.
Right.
So there's the warehouse. There's Paul Scarlatti. Scarlatti.
2759.
2151 East 2nd Avenue, East Harlem. 2151 East 2nd Avenue, East Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can also give you.
If I could trust him to listen to it, I'd be happy to leave that one there. But
what, Paul Scarlatti?
I don't trust him. I don't trust what he's going to do with it.
Well,
and who's the other
Perkins.
The third one went to
Cliff Perkins.
Cliff Perkins, who's the guy who runs.
We've just talked to. We stole
his home address.
And I'll make sure that we didn't touch the. Oh no, I'm just going to take the contract with us. We can always burn it.
So where do we go first from here, guys?
The warehouse.
Go after 1,000 copies.
The warehouse.
Okay, aren't we going to check on the sobbing woman?
Oh right! Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing, I thought. Sorry, Al.
Yeah. Okay. No,
the doctor and you were, so...
yeah.
Lexington East 2nd Avenue. Which one's 2nd Avenue? 3rd Avenue, 2nd Avenue. Okay, so just so you're aware, it'll be hard to see, but right down at the bottom of the map, kind of, it's not even letting me draw on it because it's too close to. Okay, now it's letting me draw it. That's unhelpful. Down here.
Okay.
Is where Scarlatti's. Oh, it's appeared in the wrong place. But anyway, right down the bottom of the map, that'll do for now, is Scarlatti's business office. Okay, so what do you. Okay, so now you're destroying the press. I'm actually going to rule it's pretty hard to do that quietly, right? Like you're scratching and scraping at it with a knife. So at this point, the two guys who were sort of threatening each other sort of hear the noise and look in your direction. One of them, the guy who's closer to you who has the letter opener, sort of turns to you and instantly sort of seems to perceive you as a threat. So as soon as he sees you, this is you.
I've run away.
Well, you're at the back of a warehouse. And he's charging at you at this point.
Okay, and I'm running in an opposite direction.
Right, so you're running towards the back. Anston, you were keeping kind of general watch. You've heard the scratching sound, like the scraping noise of the knife being vigorously applied to effectively cutting through the mold and and then scraping on the metal, which is what's given you away, right? Because you're scratching the hell out of this mold, and in the process you've cut through it and you're cutting to the metal underneath. There's a scraping sound. You see the same thing that Father Daniel sees. So you see the two guys. One of them turns away from the other and runs directly at Daniel, like rage-filled, sort of
Rolodex man or letter opener man?
Letter opener man. But as soon as he chases away, the Rolodex guy sort of pauses for a second, like he's kind of confused, and then he's like, and then he charges after the guy with the letter opener. So he's running behind the guy, trying to sort of catch up to him by the look of it. Daniel, you're sprinting away from this scene, doing the kind of running along the wall. Thing. Holding the cassock. Yeah, holding the cassock up as you run. I'm glad we all went there at the same time. The cassock lifted up and the legs pedaling at great speed underneath. Can I get a declaration of action from you, please, Ansel?
I'm not going to shoot them.
Okay, that's a good starting declaration. It's very clear. I like it.
Up letter opener guy.
Okay, so you're going to try and intervene and place your foot in the way. Can I get an agility roll from you, please? First of all, to sort of close the gap. And that's also, Daniel, can you give me an agility roll as well as you... Agility or force? Well, it's an enclosed space, so you're not really able to sort of sprint away at maximum speed, which might have been more of a force story. You're trying to dance around this guy, right? Like you're trying to intervene things between you and him. So I think agility is more appropriate.
It's a bit rubbish. And I'm wounded. Oh, no, I'm not wounded anymore. Aha. Oh, no, I am. I'm exhausted. So, I still get
yeah, because you snuck past and...
Yeah.
I am...
nice.
Nicely done.
Angry at this. Yeah. Angry at the corruption of music as I race to intervene and push my roll.
Yeah.
Two sixes.
Oh, okay. So Daniel is kind of dancing behind the press, sort of one side to the other side, kind of while this guy's like, argh! And then just coming out of left field, Anston sort of steps right beside him and just basically 1 foot in front and hand at the back, and you just push him straight over. That happens. He falls to the ground. The guy who was carrying the Rolodex, who's running pretty close behind, just kind of leaps on top of the guy that you've tripped over and smashes into him with the Rolodex. Like hits him in the back of the head with the Rolodex, kind of. You see blood and other things spurting away from this injury. And he's just, unless you do something, and he goes to do it again, right? So he's just hitting this guy repeatedly with the Rolodex.
I will tackle him.
All right, so you dive in to grab this guy as he's trying to smash this guy's head in.
As he can't let him kill that other person.
Okay, make a physique roll. This will be force. Sorry, force. Or close combat.
Yeah.
Probably force, but
I've got force.
Actually, it is force because in Vaesen unarmed combat's
it's force. Yeah.
Sorry.
So that's force and physique, which is -1 dice. Roll. Nope. I will push because I am definitely not trying to ensure that this guy doesn't hurt this other guy, because that's
I'm going to pile up this
idiom, and that I failed again. So what happens is I try to grab it and he batters me a bit and I take
that's
back.
Right. Yeah. So you get in the way, as it were, but fail to stop him from having freedom of movement. Now, so Anston, you're also piling in, you said?
Yeah, I reckon I will intervene physically.
Yeah.
Not my thing, but I will do it with only 3 dice.
Okay, so you're also trying to push or intervene physically. Now, John and Amadeus, you can't get... This woman is in the same... I mean, different, but same. She's completely non-communicative. So just to kind of speed run through that moment, I will assume you attempt to kind of reach out to her, and you have exactly the same level of success that you had with Wendell.
Okay. Now, as I see that the others are getting into trouble, I just look around.
Yeah, and you can hear what is clearly violence happening behind you.
I don't know, for a blanket or something that I can just sort of smother the other guy in so he can't see.
I think I've grasped the Rolodex, getting myself quite battered in between.
Okay, so you've grabbed hold of the Rolodex, but now it's like you've stopped him from... So he's now swung his attention to Daniel, So he stopped worrying about the guy who's on the ground, right? He's just moved straight to Daniel, and he's hit Daniel in the head. Then you've grabbed it. You've topped a side swipe as well. So all of you are now looking pretty worse for wear physically. It doesn't seem that any intention of stopping. So you are now tussling with this person who's full of rage, and they are pushing against you to try and hit you again. At this point, John and Amadeus, what would you like to do? You come across this conflict, right? So there's a guy on the ground who's groggily sort of self-righting. He's actually laying flat on the ground. You've kind of got Daniel laying over the top of him because Daniel's copped it in the side of the head. You've got Anston standing up holding it while this guy's sort of bent slightly over trying to smash people with it.
So I will try to tackle him, and maybe Amadeus can tie him with a rope.
If there's a rope or a blanket or something, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
There's not rope, but there's cordage. Like there's electrical cable, electrical
grab some
cord.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I will try to tackle him.
All right, make a force roll for me, please. If you try.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be.
Now I'm intending to run the combat as player facing, so I'm not intending to make dice rolls. This is all about you kind of success or failing on the conflict rather than competitive, just so that's clear.
You know what the Scooby Gang would do? They'd put him on the turntable till he gets spun around.
Round.
You want to push that, John?
Yeah.
So many dice, so few successes. Anyway, go for it.
Yeah.
It's 1-6.
All right. Okay, so two of you have now sort of grappled with this person and are holding him back.
Yeah,
you've got it mostly under control. Like the combination of the two of you is enough to sort of hold him back. And it's important to note John's a big dude, right? What's your physique?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, you're a big dude. So there's a lot of strength there now being applied to hold him back, whereas Anston was less of that.
Gonna truss him up.
At this point, Amadeus, you ripped a piece of cord out of an electrical device and sort of are trying to tie this guy out. He's raging. While you're all doing that, though, the guy on the ground who has the knife has kind of sort of shaken themselves awake. They only took one hit. If they've taken more than one hit, they might not be getting up at all. But with one hit, they're sort of still operating. And they're in the middle of all of this. Hello, there you are. You're all there, aren't you? Yes, you're all
D4.
there.
He's rolling a D4.
And it's Amadeus.
Oh, lucky me.
Amadeus, can I get an agility roll from you, please?
Agility. Oh dear, that's not going to go well.
You're a 60-plus-year-old man in the middle of a physical conflict.
I got a success, believe it or not.
The beauty of your zero.
Before he stabs you, that the guy on the ground has now sort of become conscious, and he literally tries to jam this letter opener into your side, and you kind of, in a moment of amazingly self-interested survivalist grace, slip out of the way of the blow as he sort of tries to stab you. So they're both basically
a shout of warning at the others.
Yeah, he's like now stabbing wildly into the group. Actually, that's a good point. I might do that. Yeah. Okay. So you do that. You shout the warning. You're trying to tie up the guy. Atlanta. He's trying to stab you now. Now you've got a choice. You can let go of the Rolodex dude, who's mostly under the control of Arnsworth, which means it will be a no penalty dice roll for you to avoid this attack. Or you can continue to hold on to keep him under control, in which case I will apply a 1 dice penalty to your agility roll, please.
Okay, I will hang on and I will do the agility roll with 1 dice penalty.
Excellent. Thank you.
Because we're trying to stop these people from killing each other. And I'm not convinced that, although John's a big fella, this person is really cross. Clear, agility, and take 1 of those dice off. Oh, down to 4 dice. That's an arse. Never mind.
Was a big sigh.
Oh, shit. Are you going to get stabbed anyway? Or you'll take wounded?
Yeah.
All right. So that's Amadeus, because he's got the cable. He's trying to tie this guy up. Frank?
Sorry, not sure. Can you hear me?
We can't hear you.
Yeah, hang on. Come back to me.
I assume you can hear us.
I don't think he can, because he was saying he couldn't hear us.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good,
Can you
because
hear us?
I can hear you. That's fine. We'll just have to use a different... What was the question?
Can you please make either a agility or force roll to truss up the guy that you're trying to truss up?
Agility or force. They're both as tough as each other. 2 dice.
2 dice. I'll give you a bonus dice because you've got friends.
Oh.
No.
No. Okay. Did you roll a bonus dice?
No, I didn't. Hang on. Bonus die.
Roll
Boom.
an additional die because you've got people taking wounds.
Oh.
Hold on. No. All right. So you are still trying to tie this guy up. There's the Rolodex dude who you've got trussed, you've got held, but not trussed up. There's the guy with the knife. He's trying to stab people again. Who's not doing anything like Daniel? What are you doing? All this violence is going on. What are you doing?
Attempting to help Amadeus trust the guy up.
Okay, make a agility or force roll for me, please.
Could have said that earlier.
Force roll, but I'm at -2 because I am exhausted and battered.
You guys have had better days.
Yep. And because I am a sacrificial lamb that puts myself before anybody, puts everyone else before me, I got stabbed in attempting to basically wrap that up as I attempted to push the roll.
Okay, so you take.
No, I didn't. I'll take a wounded.
Okay, so you take wounded. That's fine. That means, and Atlanta, this guy has got it in for you, buddy. Can I get another agility roll from you, please?
Me.
Yes.
I got a mind to let go of the bloody Rolodex, pull out my pistol out of my pocket and shoot him.
That is a mind that you can definitely deploy if you so choose. It is your choice. Like, people are getting stabbed and smashed all around you, right? At this,
taking the so that's a +2 bonus, which I will need. What is shooting?
It's range combat.
Range combat. Do I see the gun come out?
No. I think I'm going to rule that you are flat chat trying to grapple with this person. This is all going to go down kind of in the moment. You'll know the gun's there once it fires once.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I've made the decision. I lose 2. So I've got 2 physical conditions, right? Yeah.
But you get a bonus back, don't you?
But I gain 2 because I How do I add a?
You click the D6 at the bottom.
D6 are just below it. It says add to roll.
Oh, that's it. Okay, and I'm rolling.
Oof.
And
he missed.
No!
And he missed.
Do you want to push that?
pushing. I'll take another condition. Fuck.
Oh, okay. All right, you're shooting into a whole mess of people. There are people left, right, and center throwing themselves on bodies, tying people up. I am going to ask you to apply a condition to one of the people in the group.
I would, if I saw basically, well, I didn't see it, so.
You didn't see it.
Let's roll a dice. There are 3 of us and 2
There
of
are
them.
6 people in total, so let's go with 6.
Yeah, but obviously he's not going to shoot himself.
Including the woman.
He could shoot himself. That is completely untrue. It is a messy melee.
Ricochet.
Okay.
Shoot himself in the foot.
So
literally.
I shot myself. I'm broken.
All right. So you shoot yourself. You pull the gun out and you unload the pistol in your leg.
You're broken.
I'm broken.
Oh,
do we get to roll a critical for that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
We do.
Yep.
Unless
exciting times, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless you say if you push yourself, you normally don't break yourself, right?
Yeah, but I'm. Hold on. Broken by mental injury. Broken by physical injury.
Because we're player facing here, I feel.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Take the hit.
Roll D66.
D66.
Make it a good one. Come on.
Okay, this will be the order in which they come up, and obviously, there we go. 45.
45.
Ooh, that's not a good one.
That's not good.
Sorry,
which one is
for funny as it is, but it's pretty funny. Crushed genitals.
Crushed genitals.
Oh, he shot himself in places that no man should shoot.
Page 65 is anyone.
Shot genitals.
I think it got tangled in my pocket.
It got tangled in your joke, and you shot in your coat, and you shot yourself in the upper thigh. Let's say upper thigh for the sake of
your defect. Your defect is incontinent.
But it is also fatal.
Yeah.
So all humour aside, it is also fatal.
Yep.
Right. So there's a gunshot, and then Anston collapses away from the group. Now, I really don't want to do this, but I am going to have to stop it there. Because we're hard against 9 a.m. my time, and
that's a really good point to stop.
And I'm really going to have to pay attention to listening to the YouTube video before we play the next session. All right, so that's where we stop it. There's a mass of people. There's just been a gunshot. There's violence everywhere. And you're all in this, you're all bloodied and beaten, which is not how I thought this would roll out. I'm not going to lie. I did not think that this would be your real risk. I thought mental conditions were going to take you down, but you're okay with physical. That's fine.
We were close.
You were close. So fatal will mean that you need to make, I think, a medicine roll
at
6 some point in the near future.
We'll do that next week, don't we?
We will do that next session. So usual story, I'll negotiate over Discord and talk to you then.
Excellent.
Cool.
Well, just say thanks for watching, everybody, especially Bruce.
Bye, everyone.
It's been great fun.
okay.
And I'll go to the finish screen. So goodbye, and everybody, thank you very much for keeping us company. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. I don't know how to. Oh, that's right. Just hang up. All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ouch.
Yeah.